Monday Night Raw was live in Minneapolis, Minnesota last night. This is my coverage on that episode of Monday Night Raw. We had a lot of crazy action going on, a lot of promos cut leading up to Wrestlemania. This is my coverage on Screw the Script. My condolences go out to Carlito and the Colon family for the loss of Carlito last night as he got speared into oblivion by BRON BREAKKER right here.
BRON BREAKKER is here! Thanks for coming, Carlito!
In all seriousness, though, that was the highlight of Raw last night for me. BRON BREAKKER is insanely athletic. A lot of fun. This whole bit, the main event, we saw Penta challenge Dominic Mysterio. Solid match, nothing to go home about. Obviously, again, what I just showed was the highlight of Raw for me last night in Minneapolis, my home state. I went to Dynamite 2 weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. I was only 5 or 6 rows back from the very front. I chose not to go to Raw because the ticket prices don't justify the amount of wrestling, at least in my mind, that you get on an episode of Raw. Raw last night was 2.5 hours long, and there was only 4 matches. And I think in total, it didn't even reach 50 minutes of actual in-ring competition between those 4 matches. So it's just where I was 6 or 7 rows back at Dynamite, and it was $100, a little bit over that with, taxes and fees. I looked at roughly how far back I would have needed to have been for Raw tickets, and it was $400 or $500 in that same general area. Yes, I know it's a different product, different arena versus the auditorium that we were at for Dynamite, but I couldn't justify going. I did enjoy it for the most part, watching it last night. But yeah, I just couldn't justify it. But that spear was incredible. So again, condolences out to the Colon family. Now that we got that out of the way, I'll just run over a few things to take note of, that I took note of from Raw last night. This Mania build for the women's triple threat for that title between Io, Rhea, and Bianca, it really just goes to show, and we saw it last night, that Io it's a mess. She shouldn't have won the title from Rhea. Rhea is the star in WWE for the women's wrestling. Bianca's up there as well, to name another. Io just doesn't have that feel, and you saw it last night. When she came out, the crowd went mild. There was some cheers here and there, but most people were just stone silent until you heard Bianca's music hit, and definitely when you heard Rhea's music hit, then the crowd got nuts. So, and just to do all of this wishy-washy back and forth bullshit that we saw for the last month, only for it to end up being a triple threat, I think WWE realized they did wrong by this, and so you had Adam Pearce come out and just, was just, owning up to being the mistake in all this, like yada, yada, yada. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have had the match last week where Bianca was a special guest ref. Basically admitting that it was a mistake. And obviously for storyline purposes, they're going to pin it on the GM for Raw. But we all know it was a decision that was made behind the scenes, and much like last year's Mania when we saw the debacle with The Rock and Cody and all the disdain that they faced from that, it happened yet again. Here we are, WrestleMania season for this WrestleMania, and it happened again. Just a mess that they're trying to fix. But I'm completely lukewarm on this feud. It's honestly a Mania match that I really don't give 2 shits about. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they just put it back on Rhea, or at the very least Bianca gets it. I'm not an Io person. I don't see the appeal to her. It's just my honest opinion on that. Rhea really just deserves to have that title back. I mean, last night it was Mommyapolis. That's what I like to call it. Instead of Minneapolis, it was Mommyapolis. Rhea Ripley, she is everything that WWE needs to be the face of their women's division. and she was for a while. So having her lose in such a, degrading way, really, a little over a month ago, like, fix it. Put the title back on her at Mania, or at the very least back on Bianca, who also can hold her own. Chad Gable deserves so much more. He has proven to be such a fun wrestler in WWE. He can get over any gimmick, as we see with El Grande Americano. Now, obviously, storyline purposes, it's not him, but we know it's him. Minnesota grown. I love him. I really think they should push him to the moon. 2025 should be his year to finally win a singles title on his own. If he hasn't, I can't remember if he has or not. I may be mistaken there, so forgive me if I am. Just give him the title. He needs a title. I think that ultimately, I think he's having a match against Ray. It was announced. I think I'll have it right here if that's the truth. At Mania, but still no title shot. So at some point in 2025, he deserves a title. Now, the match that he had, the LWO versus Grande Americano and the Creed brothers or whatever, it was okay. The finish was kind of wishy-washy. I don't see how that doesn't also, hurt Chad Gable or Grande Americano by putting that little metal piece in his mask. This isn't like full quality gray, but they're thin. Like, that should also hurt him. So a little kind of like made no sense, but still had fun. So that's my coverage on that real quick. A few of my videos ago, I expressed how I really just did not care about the whole world heavyweight title feud going on and how I don't think Jay deserves the push. I'm starting to finally lean the other way, because the promo of the night last night wasn't the Heyman stuff at the end. Honestly, we'll get to that in a minute, but it was this. It was Jey Uso not coming out all, yeeted up on energy, even though the Minneapolis crowd was having fun with it, yeet. He was, stone still and face emotions until he finally looked up at Gunther and said, you know what? He cut a promo about saying, like, you have family, I have family. You didn't need to go that far to do what you did to my brother. I was afraid of you, but now I'm not. And you know what? It was a great promo. I'm actually really excited for this match at WrestleMania. It's actually up there with the Cody and Cena now. Those are probably going to be my two favorite matches in terms of storyline. And then I think whether it's night one or night two, I think the best overall Mania match in terms of pure wrestling is going to be the Fatal 4-Way match, which we'll talk about next. Before we get to talking about that Fatal 4-Way match, what are those, Dom? Bring back that 2015 meme. You know which one I'm talking about. For real, though, I don't know what the heck he was wearing. But anyways, I digress. Solid main event. I know I kind of touched on it earlier. We'll get back to it. That spear by Braun to Carlito. Dominic Mysterio. You got Penta, Dom, Finn Balor, and Braun. I think it's going to be, that Fatal 4-Way is going to be, in terms of pure wrestling, I think arguably the best WrestleMania match. Braun really is a star in the making. He already is a star, I should say. And he's not even 30, so this is a rare occasion, at least in my mind, what I would call a rare occasion in WWE where they have truly built two stars that are under the age of 30, which is both involved in this match, actually. Dominic and Braun Breakker. And so I love it. I love that this is like, these two guys are the future of WWE. Penta's not. He's already about to be 40. I think he turns 40 later this summer. So, he's, 13, 14 years older than these guys. He's been wrestling for almost as long as Braun Breakker's been alive. He is not the future. He is the present for luchadors and on Raw now that he's there. But 5 years from now, he's going to take a back seat, just like Rey Mysterio has done with his own son in WWE. So I'm really excited, actually, for this. My top three matches going in the Mania now are going to be that Fatal 4-Way. Surprising myself by saying this is going to be Jay and Gunther, and then obviously Cena and Cody. That's all I had on this quick episode of Screw the Script covering Raw last night. Looking forward to WrestleMania. Let me know your thoughts down below, what you're most excited for WrestleMania, the match that you're most excited for. This has been Maverick with Screw the Script. Thanks for watching.